Hey friends, welcome to Homeschool-ology. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Nikki. I'm a homeschooling mom of 4. I've got a 8th grader, 4th grader, kindergarten, and pre-K. I don't know why I had to think about that so hard. Usually I share secular homeschooling with you guys here on this channel, but I also like to share lots of other things with you guys. And today's video is a this or that video. So my little niece, you know who you are. This video is partly for you. I know you love these. And so this video is a collaboration with Davine from Calm in the Chaos and Shauna from Homegrown Homeschool. My angle's a little bit different, and you might see like some brightness when I put my hands out because I'm a hand talker. This is way earlier in the morning than I usually film, and our windows here on the back of our house just like bring the sun directly into us. So if I'm squinting a little, because I do have really sensitive eyes, or you see some flashing when I stick my hands out, that is why, or the weird angle. But anyways, let's move on and jump into that this or that list. Okay, number 1, walk slow or walk fast. I am definitely a fast walker, probably to my children's dismay. I'm always telling them, come on, hurry up, run, you know. So while I do enjoy like a leisurely stroll around the neighborhood, when I'm going somewhere, I'm usually on a mission and I'm usually walking pretty fast. So definitely a fast walker. Art museum or history museum? History all the way. While I can appreciate art, I just love learning about history. I think it's so exciting and so interesting, and so I am definitely a history museum. If you don't know, we love as a family to go to history museums, and so we go to quite a few of them. And so yes, definitely history museum there. Next question, beach or pool? I am probably going to lean towards pool here. I really love going to the beach. I love being near the ocean. I love all of that, but I hate the sand. So I would much rather be at the pool where, you know, you're not getting sand and taking all that sand home, and then kind of the stickiness of the salt water versus, you know, not salt water. So my favorite way, or my favorite thing to do, is to go to the beach and then stop by the pool on the way back home to rinse off all that stuff. But so if I had to choose, I probably would rather go to the pool, but I would choose for my pool to be on the beach. All right, next up, discuss socialization or how your child will keep up with a stranger. I guess this question is asking, would we rather talk about socialization or how our children are keeping up? I would probably rather talk about how my children are keeping up. This is kind of a hard one for me. I think I'm going to say how my children are keeping up, because I think it's really, what's the word I'm looking for? I think it's really interesting that a lot of homeschool children are ahead of the game rather than behind the game, as far as where their learning is. I feel like maybe in like reading sometimes they're a little behind, but that's because we know the science and we know the capabilities and how the brain works, and we're able to allow our children to go at their own pace. And I feel like reading sometimes just takes a little bit of time, or at least in my case and a lot of the people that I know in my area, or like, who I associate with homeschooling. But as far as everything else, I mean, like my children can carry on a conversation about, ancient Egypt with anybody and have a lot more to say than their public counterparts might. So I really think that homeschooling just provides so much more like in-depth time that they're just learning a little bit more. So I really think that is probably a little bit more exciting to talk about than socialization. Although I do like talking about socialization too, because it's, I feel like those are the two big myths with homeschool. Like your kids are going to fall behind and your kids aren't going to be socialized. And those are like the two things that are like literally the absolute opposite. So, yeah, that's where I land on that one. Next up, plan or surprises. I would, I'm gonna probably have to say plan, because I am a planner and I do like to kind of have an idea of what's going on. So my reality brain is saying that's probably definitely what I am. Although I love to do, surprises too. I love that. And so while I feel like that's the person that I want to be, I want to say that answer, but the person that I probably actually am is a planner. I plan a lot. And so when we go on vacations, I'm looking at everything we want to do before we go and having an itinerary. I'm one of those people. So while I want to be able to say I'm a spontaneous person, I'm definitely not. Okay, so this one says educational posters on the wall or not. In our house, it's a not, but it doesn't mean there's no things on our wall. We tend to showcase more of my children's things. So like it's got a lot of my children's art rather than actual education posters. I like to have my education in my books. So we have a lot of reference books, and that's where our education is in. But that's not to say I haven't put up a poster when we're learning about something or things like that. But probably lean towards the none, because what I'm looking at in my playroom is my children's artwork. Take a Sunday or a snow day. So we live in Florida. We have a lot of Sundays, but I would much rather take a snow day. Playing in the snow for a day is super fun, but I'm really glad we don't live in the snow, because I couldn't do that every day. But going out and visiting snow, we love that. I love that. I eat that up. I love taking the kids outside and running around in the snow and throwing snowballs and doing all of that. So if I had to choose playing in the snow versus playing in the sand, I would choose playing in the snow for sure. Clothes on the floor or clothes in the hamper. I'm a hamper girl. However, my children all have hampers, and we put clean clothes in hampers. But the spot where it makes most sense for us to drop our dirty clothing in our bathroom is in a really skinny hallway, and there just isn't room for a hamper. And so where we put our dirty clothes is just right on the floor, but that is not a choice that I would have made. It is just because you literally cannot fit. I have not found a laundry hamper that is skinny enough to be out of the way. I mean, it's like literally like this much room that a hamper could fit in. The doorway there is like an undersized doorway. It's not even a full opening. Like I cannot tell you how many times I've gone through that doorway with the kid on my hip and smacked their head on the doorway. So for that reason, our dirty clothes are on the floor, but our clean clothes in all my children's rooms all have hampers. I'd much rather have hampers if I could. Okay, physical planner or digital planner? I'm a physical planner girl. I really want to be a digital planner girl because it's so much more convenient to have everything right there at your fingertips. But I've tried it and I just can't do it. I need to be able to write things down. So I definitely have paper planners, and I have multiple paper planners. I have one for like my personal life, one for homeschool, and one for this channel. And so I'm definitely a write it down kind of person. And while I wish I could do digital, I am definitely a paper planner. Okay, this next one is night out or night in. I would probably most nights rather be in, but I really do enjoy going out as well. But most likely I'm probably wanting to cozy up on my couch and watch some TV with some snacks. And so that is kind of my person. I have a kind of a weird, I used to be super introverted. I used to not be very shy. I was very shy and very just to myself. But over the years, I've kind of moved towards the extrovert side. I was really surprised. Somebody told me, I was talking to them about how shy I was as a kid because my kids are shy. And she was like, "Are you serious? I would have never known. Like you are just such a bubbly, outgoing person, and everybody talks to you when you walk in the room." And I'm like, I was so surprised that was her perception of me, because I still feel like that little kid who is shy and nervous to be around new people a lot of the times. So, that comes out a lot where I'd rather be at home at night, by myself or with my family. But I do now have this kind of night outside where I like to be with my people too. Art projects or science projects. I'm a science girl. You guys know it. If you don't know it, I used to teach science and at the high school level. So I'm definitely a science girl. However, in my home, we probably do more art projects because I feel like the cleanup's a little bit easier. So yeah, but science is gonna be what I have to say here. Vacation or staycation. If you've been around the channel at all, you know we love our vacations. We love going on vacations. I'm a vacation girl. We love to go and see and do and learn about the world around us in different places. So definitely vacation. Loose guidelines or clear directions. I am smack dab in the middle here. I want it to give me both options as far as curriculum goes. I want both options. I want to be able to follow a script, but I also want to choose what parts of the scripts I follow. So I am a dead smack in the middle here. I don't think I could choose one way or the other. I guess if I was going to choose, I would choose something with strict directions and then just modify them as I saw fit if I had to choose. But I use both kinds of curriculums in our homeschool. Winter or summer, I'm a winter girl, but that's because I don't live where there's snow is. I don't like being hot. In Florida, we're hot way more months of the year than we're cool, and so I really enjoy those cooler months here in Florida where I can wear a sweater outside and just enjoy my windows open and things like that. So I'm a winter girl for sure, but that answer might have changed if I lived in the snow because I don't like doing snow every day. I can handle it for a week or two, but I'm done after that. Plan a field trip or plan a co-op lesson. I'd much rather plan a co-op lesson. While we like field trips, I hate having to organize all that stuff. So I'm definitely a co-op lesson girl, and I actually teach a lot of co-op classes. So that's definitely more me. Clean as you cook or clean at the end? Clean at the end. I know I should clean as I cook, but I can't. It's not in my ability. So I definitely just let them pile up. And also, like, I want to reuse things, dishes and stuff, so I have less dishes to wash. So I'm definitely a clean at the end, but if you don't know, my husband does all the dishes. So that's another reason why I'm a clean at the end kind of person, because I just let him wash the dishes. So sometimes I'll come in the kitchen and clean the dishes as I'm working, but clean at the end for sure. Fiction or nonfiction? Honestly, I like fictionalized nonfiction. Like I like historically based stuff. But I would probably lean towards fiction here because even though that still falls in the fiction category. So probably fiction for sure. I don't like reading like strictly nonfiction at all. So pizza or tacos, how can you choose here? How can you choose? I don't know how I can choose. I would probably have to lean towards tacos just because of variety. Like when you think tacos, you think Mexican, and Mexican has a little bit more variety, and I like variety in what I'm eating, and pizza is kind of, while I like different kinds of pizza, I feel like I have better variety over on the Mexican side. So I'm gonna lean towards taco, but seriously, how are you supposed to choose? Laminator or binding system? I'm going to go here with the one that I use the most, which is the binding system. I don't think I could, I love having both of these options. I think they're both totally worth it and you should get both. But if you can't get both, the laminator is cheaper and I do use it quite a bit, but I use my binding system so much more. While it's more expensive, I feel like you're saving more long term by doing it yourself, because you're not spending money to get everything bound, and you can buy PDF versions of curriculum, which means you can use it again and again and again, because you can just print out a new workbook every single time with all of your multiple children, if you have multiple children. But I just find myself using it so much more. I use it for so many things. So if I were choosing and I could only have one, I would go with a binding system just because I use it way more. Roller coasters or water slides? Roller coasters for sure. While I do enjoy being in the water slides are not my favorite thing to do. They're fun, but they're not my favorite thing to do. But I love me some roller coasters. Not all kinds. I do get motion sickness, so I have to be a little bit careful, but I love roller coasters. If you don't know, we're big Disney parks fans around here, and we love all the rides. And last but not least, car schooling or outdoor schooling. I'm probably going to lean towards outdoor schooling because we don't really car school. We kind of like to do our own thing in the car. And so sometimes we'll listen to a science podcast or something, but really typically, okay, so I don't mind being in the car to travel long distances, but I don't like being in the car like in my hometown. Like I hate driving around for hours, where we live, it can take a half an hour to get to some places just in town. Like that's all still town, but just because of traffic and stuff, it can take 30 minutes. And I hate that. So I kind of stay in my little bubble and we're not in the car for really more than 20 minutes or so. So I would probably lean towards outdoor schooling. It's just in Florida, we don't do a lot of that either because it's so dang hot. So most of the time, but when we can do that, when the weather's nice, we do that. So that's the one I'm going to choose here. And that was the last question. So I hope you guys found this interesting. I would love to hear from you guys and any of your answers to any of these questions down below. Maybe I'll put the list in the description box. And so I would love to hear any of your answers for any of these. And I think that's all I'm going to share with you guys today. Thank you again to Daveen from Calm in the Chaos and Shauna from Homegrown Homeschool for putting this together. These are always super fun videos. And I think it's fun for you guys to learn a little bit more about us, the content creators. And I think that's all I'm going to share with you today. I hope you'll come back and chat with me again real soon, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.